What's good, Dogmatic Nation? Today I have a deck list for you, courtesy of Himne, who just got first place with it last week in the Tournament Nexus Discord. If you're not there, you're definitely missing out. They have bi-weekly tournaments for Tengu Plant, and I believe they'll be having Edison too. I usually enter, depending on whether I'm doing something or not on that Friday. But this one I was not able to enter. Obviously, otherwise I'd be showing off my first place deck profile. But here we are with Hero Beat featuring Jar Turtle. Basically, the idea is that you need a water monster for your absolute zero plays, but you don't want to play bad cards like Ocean or Snowman Eater. And another thing I'm happy about is that we're not on another card that I hate playing in these types of decks, Barbaros. Barbaros is like conveniently an Earth for Gaia, but like because we're not on the main deck skill drain. In fact, let me switch to the right fan list here. Professional YouTuber, by the way. There we go. Considering we're on the skill drain on the side instead of the main, you don't have to play these big beat stick guys that don't do anything. You might as well just max out on Thunder King, run this as a nice water, and you might be thinking, well, these are nice deck slots, or these take up a lot of deck slots to be, anything useful. Why aren't we on, like, D-Prison? Well, we trade out being able to play D-Prison for being able to play hand traps. We have a total of 5 in this deck. Normally, Hero Beat just has the Honest, but we also have Double Veiler, one of Max C, and the Gores. So you can do things like set Jar of Greed, normal summon Alias, and set a Gemini Spark as like a standard turn 1, and then when they Heavy Storm, you just chain everything and you have a good chance to draw into one of these powerful cards. So that's that. Obviously, we have the Hero Engine, very standard. We're not playing Ocean, Wild Heart, anything janky like that. 1 Rhoda and 2 E-Calls. We're maxing out on all 3 of the really powerful cards for the deck. Miracle Fusion, unlike an Edison where a lot of people will only play 2, you definitely want to max out because Shining is just infinite. You can just keep making him forever and ever. Not forever, but you know what I mean. But 3 times. He's always live. Heavy Storm for back removal. Obviously, this is great because we can bluff set Jar of Greeds and then activate Heavy Storm and go plus like crazy. Dark Hole standard, Monster Reborn standard, and Future Fusion, which is usually used to dump the Jar Turtle. We don't have Call of the Haunter or anything to bring it back, but you can always Monster Reborn it or just have it in the graveyard. I think that's pretty much everything to address in the list. Obviously, we do have a couple of power one-ofs here, because we do need some back rows. We are a hero deck. We're only on 1 Hero Blast. Our hero count is kind of low, but that's usually they'll play 1 or 2. I think I like it at 1 in this list because it's a little weak of a card, and you want to be making the Shining with your aliases in the and of course we have Dust Shoot and the Solemn Brigade in the main. It's just that powerful. Every deck should have it. We have Cyber Dragons, which are very good in this version because of the Honest. I side them in versus Machina, which you'll see briefly. 1 DD Crow and double Maxi. Again, hand traps are really good in this version compared to other hero decks. Triple MST for annoying decks, honestly. Lance, it comes up. Honestly, our monsters are kind of small, so it helps trade favorably with like enemy Thunder King and stuff like that to try to be over Stratos, and it helps protect your monsters from like Mirror Force and Torrential. We're not on Starlight Road because our back row is much smaller, so having Lance helps with pushes and such on your big monsters. D-Prisons for when we want to side out the janky Jar of Greed, which is great, right? Because that's 4 deck slots you can side out like every game if you want. If your hand traps are underwhelming, you side out some of the hand traps, and then you side it out the jars and the Jar Turtle Mind Crush because it's good, and then we have some Floodgates of Choice. Nothing really to talk about in the extra deck. We do have multiple Ab Zeros because we can make them with the Jar Turtle guy. You can't make Nova Master, but if you run Super Poly in the side deck, you can, but like you might as well play it for something else to play here other than like an additional Ab Zero or Gaia. But and then you just have 2 rank 4s of the format, and obviously we are on Veiler, and Monster Reborn is a thing, so we have a wide variety of synchros. We're going to get into a couple duels. I have some unfortunate news. I did not resolve the Jar Turtle to draw 2 once. I know. But that doesn't mean that there's not some janky interactions we had and some fun to be seen. So let's go ahead and get to the first replay. So here we have me versus a very interesting deck. He's on Mist Valley combo. We lose the die roll, unfortunately. Let me, 1 second. We'll mute volume. Fast forward. So he's going to... No, I'm sorry. This is not the Mist Valley. This is the Machina deck. And he's playing like this weird Edison-esque version with Tengu Plant stuff in it. Like, he's got the Gravekeeper package and Chaos Monsters, and it's almost like a Machina. You'll see what I mean. You'll see it's very Edison-esque in nature, this Machina deck. But still a cool deck, though. So he's going to summon Card Trooper and pass. We're going to draw for turn. We activate... What is... There we go. So we banish 3 cards off of our duality, and we grab Honest, because it's the best card in this position. We're going to shuffle back the 2 cards in the deck. Unfortunately, he has Mirror Force, and I chain... What's it called? Yeah, I chained the Gemini Spark here onto the Card Trooper. I really didn't want him getting more value out of it by targeting them, by like either saving the Gemini Spark or adding it to hand. But we draw into Jar of Greed. So I set Mirror Force, and I should set Jar of Greed as well. Oh no, that was weird. I saved the Jar of Greed. I don't know why I did. I think I wanted to do turtle things, but in that case I should have set the jar as well. So we're gonna go normal summon the Machina Gear Frame, search his fortress. I considered activating Maxi on Rezo, but I did not. He kind of just went right into his battle phase. Here we have Thunder King, which is perfect to beat over the Gear Frame. Trade. We'll set the jar, and then it's his move again. He's going to activate the Heavy Storm, but that's okay, because we have the old Jar of Greed. And then we chain Maxi just in case he goes right into summoning Fortress next as his next play. And then unfortunately we do lose the Mirror Force. He's going to... I think about it here. I think about negating here. But I think I end up not, because I completely forgot. Yeah. I end up letting him keep the Cyber Dragon, because I kind of forgot that you don't draw. And I would feel bad being like, oh, I don't want to draw. So I, Scout's Honor. I was like, all right, I'll leave it. I completely forgot about that. It's been a while. And then I make it... So right... Then I make another new mistake. I was like, actually, I'll just Honest. People were talking to me when I was playing this duel, so I was a little distracted. Yeah, and I apologized to him. Like, my bad. Sorry for the sloppy play, but the rest of this, it was my first duel of the day, and the rest of the gameplay's obviously solid, and we never make any mistakes the rest of this video, I assure you. So he's going to Dust Shoot me, take the obvious pick of Stratos from my hand. We are going to punch inwards. I'm going to set all my cards, because why not at this point? And then we Dust Shoot. Take a swig of water as I decide, how do I take a look at his hand? These are all things I should have learned how to do. Yeah, so this is a crazy thing, right? He's got the Caius, the Double Fortress, and the Monster Reborn, and I was like, man, I had to think. I think because I had the Thunder King, I wasn't too scared of Fortress, so I just got put back the Caius. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty settled on my Caius pick. He goes for the obvious play of Monster Reborning the Cyber Dragon. So we definitely, honestly, looking back, we do misplay. We probably should have chose Fortress. But the issue was he could just Monster Reborn anything and then tribute it for Kaya. So it was a you lose situation. I think it was probably better in hindsight to get rid of Fortress. But we draw Torrential, which is a pretty good draw, honestly. Caius, yikes. He correctly chooses the attack order here. That's a little sussy. But, you know, he's playing very passive at this point. He doesn't want to play into Torrential. We draw the Miracle Fusion here. Really good. But does he Judgment it? Yeah. He sees I'm low on gas and he just Judgments. And then I set a bluff. And he just goes for game correctly. But as you can see with the multiple Caius and the Gravekeepers, it's a very like Edison-like deck. I also side deck rather poorly. I side in double Mind Crush because whoops. Because, you know, he's adding cards from his deck to his hand, like Fortress off of and such. But I side out the hand traps for D-Prisons because they're very good versus Machina Fortress, right? Just like I used my Edison side deck logic. I was like, well, D-Prison's pretty good versus those cards. So versus cards like Machina. See, and he sides in the Lance expecting the D-Prison. So it was a good decision on my part. So he sets the Lightsworn Hunter. We go ahead and we normal summon the Alias and we punch in. He is going to think carefully on what he chooses here, and I think I was okay with what he picked. He picked the back row, which is fine because we have another. He mills the limiter removal. That card's going to come up later, I assure you. We set our Gemini Spark, and we decide to keep the prison in hand. He's going to special summon the Cyber Dragon, enter battle phase. We don't know when we'll be drawing another Alias, so we just kind of use it now. And I had to think on the target carefully. I think I end up choosing the Sidra because I just didn't want him to. Yeah. I didn't want to go in, oh, this is great. I was like, oh, perfect, we can just pass. So that's what I do. I draw the Gores, I pass, he draws, passes. Or no, I drew the Gores off of Gemini Spark. So yeah, I'm just passing here while I think of a plan. I was waiting for him to make a push with Machina. He doesn't. So I think I have to set something here. So I think I set the D-Prison. Yeah, I set the D-Prison. He goes for the aggressive push with the Machina Fortress. And I banish Fortress. Or no, yeah, and then I think he realizes, he's like, oh, wait. And I'm like, yep, that's perfectly fine. You know, this is obviously a casual gameplay. I did a little take backseat myself earlier with the honest play. So I just did that. I just let him do it. You know, when you're testing on random lobbies on Dueling Book, listen, everyone gets one take backseat, okay? That's the rules. I didn't write them. When you're on ladder or something or in a tournament, you know, different story. Duelist's discretion on what you do with that. But so we're going to beat in with the Gores. He's going to take 200 damage and pop the Gores because it's rather hard for his deck to out without using Caius. And then we're going to beat in with the token. We activate Future Fusion. I think, did we side out the water at this point? So we had to go for like Shining, I think. I didn't even, I'm so greedy, I didn't even. I believe we send Alias and Cyber Dragon. Yeah, I realized my mistake. Don't ask me why, honestly. I have all these Miracle Fusions. I might as well have put multiple heroes in the graveyard. Oh, I put Stratos and Cyber Dragon. Okay. You can definitely argue I made the wrong choice. But obviously we're very careful here. We've got a lot of power with the Solemn Judgment and the Miracle Fusion. So we're like, all right, just one at a time. We'll summon the boy. Yeah, definitely should have dumped a second Alias over the Cyber Dragon. Especially because the Cyber Dragons are really good draws versus his deck. Obviously, we sided them in because it's a machine deck. Why not? It's pretty good against it. So he torrentials. We get to recycle both. He kind of had to do it, honestly. Like, it sucks for him, but I think it was the correct play. He could have been greedy with it and waited, but that's, because we don't have Gemini Spark, I figured might as well thin the deck a little more and just push in with our boy Stratos here. Set the Judgment and pass. Oh, I was thinking whether I wanted to Miracle Fusion again, which I don't even think I could have. Oh no, I could have summoned for another shiny, but I decided to just let it go. So he brings back the fortress. We hold on to. I took the full damage on accident here, but I corrected. So we just absolutely punish him for setting the hamster here. Yeah, and he just scoops after that. Game 3. I'm not sure what I sided out again, but we'll definitely see. I think I kind of kept the deck the same way. I sided out more back row removal, I'm sure, because we open all good cards here. All right, so this Dust Shoot is going to reveal a lot about what's going on. So it's going to activate Duality. And I go, oh, this BLS is getting Dust Shooted. But I actually have to make a really weird decision because of that limiter. It threatens me the entire game. So we're going to... I believe we normal summon Thunder King. Yeah. As much as I wanted to go for Alias, I wanted to do Thunder King because I know he has, cards like Gear Frame and such and Duality. Lo and behold, it is Hamster. So Hamster goes into Raikou. He sets it. So I want to go through my logic here. So, yeah, as you can see, well, I'm just dead, huh? In the chat here. His hand is Gear Frame, BLS, Machina Fortress, and Caius. He's going to flip this and pop T-King so he can summon that Gear Frame and search another Fortress. And that's just lethal, folks. Fortress times 2 is 500. 1800 times 2 is more than 3k. That's literally lethal. As much as I wanted to get rid of BLS because it's big and scary and spooky, I just decided not to. Or rather, I just decided I had to go for Gear Frame, so he couldn't. Yeah, so I think here his turn is actually kind of ass, right? Because he can't tribute summon Caius because it targets itself. So he does that. He has to attack in for 200, playing into Gores. I actually don't even think... No, he does. Speaking of Gores, there's our guy. Here I go for the Alias, punch into Raikou. He's going to Deep Prison. I'm going to chain it to pop the body for Caius. We'll draw a card. We activate. We search our boy. And we pass. Holding on to the monster. Torrential, that's a pretty mid draw for him, honestly. I decide to summon Stratos and thin the deck before we go for Duality. Right? You could choose the order here, but I like to thin the deck first. Go for Duality. Here, this is a huge decision. All 3 of these cards are absolutely bangers versus his deck. I know he has Caius and a Chaos Monster, so Veiler's really good into that. Dark Hole is obviously incredible. And then Cyber Dragon's really good versus his machine deck. So I think for a good, 30 seconds here on what to pick. I noticed that my hand is very back row light, so I decided it would be best to rely on hand traps to protect. We have the Gores already. The Veiler's just extra insulation. And as you're going to see, this is a really smart decision by me. I wouldn't change a thing going back. So we pick the Veiler. We punch in for 18, and we pass. Just holding on to all our good cards. There's a Gravekeeper Spy. I think we draw the warning. Okay, so I think you can see how this plays out. We're going to summon the guy. Oh no, we just decided to just battle in first, to not play into Torrential, which he has, so he probably would have Torrential. If we summoned, like, especially a card like Thunder King to stop his next Fortress play, he probably would have Torrential. But he's going to go into the Descendant. So I'm feeling really pretty playing like this, right? Because we have an answer to everything. We have an answer to the Caius with the warning. We have an answer to BLS with the Veiler. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You'll see what I mean. Hold on. You'll see what I'm talking about, right? So first thing he's going to try to do is pop the Thunder King, or pop the back row, right? Because he wants to make a big push here with his... Oh, especially with the Fortress, you know he's going to try to make a huge push, right? So what he's going to do is he's going to start by trying to pop our back row. We respond with Veiler. The next thing he's going to try to do is respond by using Caius, to which I Solemn Warning it. Now, I know he still has the Chaos Monster in hand, but we have Thunder King. I didn't know about the Fortress, but obviously it'll come up when it comes up here. Oh, he just passes. He doesn't even play into it. Okay. I mean, that makes sense, because why waste your BLS? We're going to poke in for some more damage. I go for the greediest normal summon alias you've ever seen. And I get... Don't do that. Don't do what I did. I should have just passed. With T-King and Gores, we were plenty fine. Don't do it. I actually do chain the Gemini Spark here just to try to get to like a Miracle Fusion or another hand trap. We go into an MST. So here we just pass. There was an argument to hold the Gemini Spark, but again, you don't know when you're going to get another guy. Another Gemini. I think I bring back the T-King, right? Yeah. So we bring back the T-King just to have some protection. Yeah, I noticed my misplay immediately. Duality. That's not going to be good for where he is right now. I think here he trades the BLS because he values having the protection of the Fortress more, which he'll regret short because I do have the Gores in hand. If I recall, yeah. So he summons the BLS, and he puts it to the grave immediately because he knows it's coming. And then he'll banish his light and dark. Incorrect order, but you know, who cares? And then he goes for the Fortress play. Punches for 25, to which he gets punished, of course. Oh, I think he says here that there was a bug that he couldn't see cards in my hand, and I guess he thought I was in top deck. He sets the typical dueling book. He sets two cards. One is a bluff. One is a temporary protection. We hit the correct one, actually. It's kind of nutty. We go for a snipe on the first back row here, which is the limiter removal. And he chooses to chain it. I don't know how I feel about that. Because now I get to keep both my token and stuff. So I activate E-Call. Get the, I guess, final alias from my deck, right? Yeah. This is the last one. And I just kind of pass and let the Fortress die. Yeah, so then he draws, he activates Duality, he searches a bunch of really bad cards off the top deck, honestly. It's a Card Trooper, Heavy Storm, and Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning he can't really use here. Card Trooper's the only choice. And so he just sets two and passes. I don't think this was lethal because of the D prison. Oh no, because I have the Miracle. And he knows I have the alias. So he surrenders, and that's the game. So a couple greedy plays by me, but otherwise I did pretty well, I think. Aside from the greed, we got to play. Just because we're playing Jar Turtle and Jar of Greed doesn't mean we play greedy, right? So here is the next deck I was up against. This is. Oh, let me take a nice sip of water. A very professional water drink with the crinkling water bottle. So here, he is on Mist Valley Falcon control, but with a twist. He's playing Dark Simorgh. So that's interesting. He goes for the tour guide for follow-up plays, and then puts his Divine Winds back in the deck. I think he already has. Yeah, he normal summons Tengu, activates, and then he passes. Here we're going to. I think first we Duality, and then ourselves, and then we beat him with the Riot. I think I choose Warning here. Feels like nothing else is really good. Yeah, these cards are kind of sucky. Oh, what did I do? Put them all back in my deck? Yeah, so I reveal it, and I add it to my hand. So now what we do is we go in and we beat. We punch him with the old Riot. I was like, oh, he thinks about it, and then he's like, alright, go ahead. So we punch in, he's going to get a new Tengu. And then I guess we set all three, right? Because he probably doesn't have heavy if he's setting back or when activating the switch spell. We just shoot to take a little look-see at what he's got going on. I think we put back the... Hold on, let me pause. Let's take a look at both hands here. What does he have? Yeah, so we kind of have to... We have Warning for whatever shenanigans are coming off of the Monk. So I'm pretty sure I choose Tour Guide here. Yeah, Tour Guide is the most value in this situation. I wasn't really afraid of what he's going to do with Summoning, especially because this is a really good card to have to discard. Yep. Yeah, because we have Mirror Force and Thunder King and Warning, I was like, go ahead, do your work. What's he going to summon? Gust Fan or whatever? We'll see what he... Yeah, he summons Soldier, actually. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like you want to get something with a little bit more value when you pitch a card for Monk. He could have gotten, like... What's it called? I'll let it play out, I think. The Gen X Blast Fan to get an effect on special summon. There's other cards. But he goes for the tuner. I think he goes into, what? Scrap Dragon? Colossal Fighter. And I think here, too, right? I'm like, do I even want to, like, do anything? Yeah, I just let it resolve. I want to save the, I wanted to save the Thunder King for the Dark Simorgh. I keep giving him, like, yeah, you're good. So, Mirror Force, we wipe out the board. We think carefully here, and then to which we just say, nope, none of that nonsense, and he says none in return. Now, we can't set cards. That is unfortunate. This Jar of Greed would have been nice to set. We don't have any heroes going for us, though, so these two cards are just kind of rotting in our hand. So we pass the turn back to him. And I think we just keep drawing cards. I think you kind of predict what happens. No, we draw Dark Hole, which is a crazy time. He kind of logs out there. I thought he was upset that I Dark Holed him, but I guess he just lagged out. Not the greatest of Dark Holes, but still, we had to get the Dark Simorgh off the field to have anything having this game. So he gets to search a tour guide for him to go tour guide to tour guide, because it's a nice 2500. So then we set the old Jar of Greed. We draw to see if we can get a Gores to try to come back here. He overlays into which one? Levair, he's going to bring back the Mist Valley Soldier. We draw a 1900 beater, which clears it perfectly. We set everything just because we can. I allow it, because whatever he synchro summons, I can just take out with T-King. Set another card that we can't play right now. And then I have to think, right? Because he can bounce the field spell with the Zephyros, or he could bounce the soldier with the Zephyros, and yeah. So this is what's weird, right? We draw just to see if we can get into like anything to try to stop this. Yeah, we don't. Here's what sucks. He's gonna have the materials for some more now. He's gonna have a dark and wind. And so I think I torrential here because I have to, otherwise he just lethals me. And then he just lethals me regardless. No, this is the game where I sided early. I sided into Mind Crushes, which were really funny because he adds cards with like Gust Fan and stuff, but there were probably better cards to side in. Like the Cyber Dragons to deal with the 1700 beaters and stuff. Did we not? I was gonna say, did we not draw for turn? Thank God. That would be embarrassing. So we side in the Typhoon, right? Because we wanted to be able to hit the field spell and other shenanigans, and we know he's got Call the Haunted, right? He's gonna have like Falcon and stuff. We blind Typhoon, a Compulse, which is pretty good. Do we summon first, or do we just punch him? Yeah, we just punch. He's gonna dump one from deck to graveyard, signaling that he swapped it out. Then we set a card of our own to the Mind Crush. He realizes he cannot make this with the materials. He actually has a couple deck building, a little deck building error by him, because I guess he's testing the deck too. He doesn't have Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is kind of nuts when you're like a field spell deck that can make level 7s easily, right? Like you can pop a Necro Valley and then search your own guy. But yeah, I negate it regardless. Because it's just the correct thing to do. And we call the Haunted, brings back a Birdman. I say, okay. You're supposed to tell me what your target is in case I sided in Crow, buddy. So I was like, alright. And then he realizes that he doesn't have Ancient Fairy Dragon. He passes. We normal summon our Thunder King. Yeah, this is when I tell him, like, no AFT! That's nutty. I beat over the tuner, because I'm more afraid of that than anything else. This is why we test. This is, in fact, why we test. He's gonna think here, activate his Mist Valley. Goes for the Yoinky Splinky play. Brings out the Birdman. Activates. Summons Falcon. And we take the damage. Oh, yeah, but then we declare his Divine Wind, so he doesn't do any more shenanigans. And so now I see he has the 2 Dark Monsters in his hand. And I think I just Judgment this. Because the only card I know in his hand is Tengu, and the other 2 cards are clearly dead or not doing anything. So I think I just say, I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, and I just Judgment it. It's too annoying. So now we're going to go for Duality. I think really hard here. I think I grabbed the Gemini Spark, right? Just to have something going. Yeah. I think that's correct. You can yell at me in the comments if it isn't. So then we summon our Alias and we get Beating. We'll set it and we'll pass. Duality, I think he goes for. Yep. I see he pitches a card and we immediately go for it. He passes, we go, we see another Duality. Alright, let's see what's cooking. I think we just grab Rhoda and then Stratos, just to deck thin as much as possible. So, like I said, unfortunately, no turtle shenanigans. But, you know, it's Hero Beat with Spicy Turtle. He reassures me that he doesn't have a Veiler. And we go and grab another Alias, and we just get the beats going. Okay. He goes for Tour Guide, which will resolve. And from here, we just kind of do what Hero does best and tempo the game out. We let him do as much shenanigans as he wants. I Gemini Spark, draw a card. We keep with all 3 dualities, man. Wild. And he just because he sees that we're gonna out tempo him. He goes first. His hand is really nuts, honestly. And he terraforming, and then he asks me if he can duality, and he actually can. If Tour Guide gets negated and you don't do any other special summons, you can activate duality. So he's gonna do that here. I wish he couldn't though. He's gonna get that very powerful Solemn Judgment. He set the bluff. I didn't even notice that at the time. That's crazy. Anyway, so we're going to e-call for... It was a tough decision because we have the Gemini Spark, but I'm also scared of his ability to out-tempo me here with that Solemn Judgment. So I normal summon the Alias, and we punch it. And I think I set both. Yeah. I set both, and he passes. His hand is wild, actually. Holy schmoly. Now, I still think that's a judgment at this point, so I go, okay, now I can just deprison. Or no, why did I Gemini? Looking back, I don't know if that's the correct option. I probably should have just deprison. But yeah, I never really thought about that. He sets the bluff again. Oh, he just goes full set. Okay. Looking back, I'm still not sure whether it's probably better to deprison. The more I think about it, yeah, I don't know why I gave up my body for free. So I normal summon the T-King. It would have been a decent warning from him, honestly, to warning here, if he does or not. Scratch my eyeball. So we punch in. He's going to call up the Haunted, bring back Falcon. I'm like, alright. We have the deprison this time to deal with it still. So we set our warning of our own and we pass. Another Call of the Haunted. This deck just loops those for breakfast. It's crazy. Yeah, knowing he has Call of the Haunted, we should have deprisoned. Looking back. So, we take the fat L here. I'm scared to let him start getting value off of recycling things. But I still hold on to the Dark Hole at this point. I kind of do a cheeky thing of my own, and I wait for... And not so much I wait, I just kind of delayed on the torrential here, because I had to think about it. I'm like, I kind of have to do this now, don't I, because of the Black Road. Yeah. I wasn't happy with it, but I kind of had to. Now, my opponent actually misplays here. He returns the... instead of starting to loop his Call of the Haunted, he starts returning his field spell. The entire point of the Call of the Haunted are to keep looping stuff. Obviously, yes, you can summon Blast Fan and search a Gen X monster, but it can also be used to bring back Falcon. Our hand is just abysmal. So we go for, I guess, our Miracle Fusion. That's all we can do. And I guess it gets warned. Saved it. Like a yeah, so he's going to warning us. We can pass. He goes for again, and at this point, I know we lose, right? Because he just keeps looping them. But funnily enough, he doesn't do that. Is this just I don't remember. Yeah, I do the most toxic thing you can imagine. I lose, and then I tell him how to play his deck properly. Watch this. I said, don't forget to bounce your Call of the Haunted when you attack with Falcon. Because I don't play this deck he plays, but I play a similar deck called Falcon Punch, which there will definitely be a deck profile coming up. Maybe I'll bring it. I really like it. Anyway, last replay of the day. So you thought it was going to be me winning. Aha, I lost that set. Horrible play by me, as per usual. I am not the world champion, and the person that labbed this deck is. You know, small difference in skill set. So this guy's going to normal summon Reborn Tengu instead of card. I can't remember what deck he was on. Is this Tengu Plants? Yes, it's Dust Shoot Turbo. How could I forget? So he's going to see my one monster. We searched the Stratos, and then I put the alias back. I didn't show it to him, but I think he knows. Or no. While I'm looking through my deck, I put the alias back. That's cheap. So we search the Stratos. We summon the Stratos. He Valors. Unfortunate. We play we have a nice back and forth between. We're very quiet during this duel. We're not saying much. It was an interesting duel for sure. Do I set everything here or just the jar? Just the jar in case we draw like Gorz or something. So we allow Stratos to go to the graveyard. I jar in the end phase. There's an argument to not. Definitely siding out this Heavy Storm. We set a warning, and we set the Mirror Force because it's rough out here. What's he got? Oh, he goes for Caius. Oh yeah, this is Tengu Plants, the one up. So he's still going to get his search off of Sangan. Goes for the Lone Fire Blossom. And we just kind of take the damage. There's our alias. There's our guy. So we're going to normal summon him, and we're going to not, actually. We're going to get Solemn Warning. We definitely go for the Miracle because we got to start looping this somehow. We know he has the Lone Fire, but we have Valor for any powerful synchro that comes out. So we're going to go right into Mr. the Shining. And we'll punch right over. He's going to go get another Tengu from the deck. And he passes. Reaper. So he normal summons Lone Fire. A lot of people don't play the Reaper and the Caius anymore because they're like cheeky one-ofs. And I agree. I think they're really bad. He goes for Spore here and not Blow-Up Bulb, but I guess it's correct. Because he's got the Lone Fire already. So it goes into Librarian. I say, yeah, this doesn't threaten my board state at all. So I allow it to resolve. I know he's going to go for Scrap Dragon, and that's when we can, like, Valor the effect. He's going to vanish, summon it back. He will get to draw a card, but that's A-okay. All three of the guys are down. Here comes Scrap Dragon. And it's going to draw a card. So then he goes to Scrap Dragon, pop our guy, which is Jailer. He chooses to hold the MST, which is interesting. We don't have fuel for the old Miracle Fusion, so we're definitely going to take out the Scrap Dragon, because it's the only thing that threatens our board state. How does he lose this duel with the Spirit Reaper? Because I don't really see how it's gonna lose him the duel. Okay, so he goes for that. I think he tries to Brionic, right? Yeah, that's how he loses the duel here. I allow it to resolve. He pitches the Heavy Storm, and we take the 2300. We don't have fuel right now for heroes, so I'm a little sussy. I think we just lose, right? We didn't really play poorly there. We just kind of had a bad hand. I think we played really well, actually. So obviously, always activate your dualities first, because Thunder King, you cannot resolve it. So I think here carefully, I'm not sure what I get. E-Call for Stratos, maybe? Yeah. Just thin our deck more, I figured. Couldn't decide whether I wanted to do T-King or Stratos as my normal style. We'll see here in a moment what I chose. I did these tools earlier today. We're going to search the alias. We're going to, because we have the Does Shoot, I feel comfortable not forcing myself to use the Ryo. So in his standby phase, I activate Does Shoot. And we choose, obviously, the Gores, because Gores is scary. It's the only thing threatening us right now. He has to waste like 2 cards to do anything else. And then he just passes. So, as you can see, we definitely win this. We're off the races, we activate. I sided in the MSTs, and I sided out the Heavy Storm. Because he's not going to have a bunch of back row, but what little back row he does is usually powerful. He's going to have like one of Torrentials, Mirror Force, and stuff like that. So I put, and you know, Floodgates, he could side in Royalty, which would be horrible. So we did side in the MST. Speaking of MST, there's one right now. Is this when he goes for the Mind Control? Yeah. He goes for Mind Control on the T-King. Normal summons the Spore. Goes into a Catastor. We E-Call for the last guy. Our hand isn't really great for dealing with this. We have Gores, and I think I don't even summon it right. I think I just... Oh no, I should have not summoned this. Don't ask me why. I was just scared of, like, the follow-up with Lone Fire, so I just kind of summoned Alias and passed. And he's gonna do the same. Right, so I pass. I should have let him, There was also an argument to set that and then bait with the Gores attack. I think, looking back, I think that was the hindsight play, right? Set the MST, let him attack in, and then pop that as he attacks. I think that was the play. But he doesn't play around it still. He thinks on it for a little bit, but then he plays into it. And I bring out the Gores of my own. And he's going to have to Dark Hold because I just cleared the board on my next. He bluff sets the Heavy Storm and passes. I go for, I guess, the Shining, right? Yeah. And I show him the aliens that he already had. And game 3. He tried, but he probably missed. Also, he's got 41 cards. I just noticed that. That's sussy. Do you really need the Caius and the Spirit Reaper? Why don't you just play Dust Tornado? He should just play what's the card called? Phantom Skyblack, which Trish will access with level 1. But he's going to set the Sangan up. Turn 1, we're going to MST the back row. Activate E-Call because we won't be able to activate it once we play T-King control. Again, I think it's always weird when you have the Gemini Spark. It's like, do we want Stratos to gain more advantage? Do we want T-King? Unfortunately, we're punished here because if we went for T-King, his Sangan wouldn't work. But it's okay. It's the only monster in his hand, so we're not too bent out of shape on it. And he's going to go ahead and search his Lone Fire Blossom. Follow up. We are going to pass. Debris Dragon is an interesting top deck here. So he's going to go for his Lone Fire play. No, he's not actually. Very passive. So we are going to just attack with Stratos. I think I was a little cautious on that. So he goes for Scapegoat. We set to invest. Probably should have Ryo'd with what we know is coming. He's going to. We're actually going to take the draw because we're very we have 3 hand traps right now. What's one more? We side in the Rivalry because it's really good versus his deck. He's going to go for the Lone Fire. We chain Maxi. I don't remember how this deal ended. Draw 1 card. I do that. Yeah, that's why his turn stopped so suddenly. Yep. The moment it hit the grave, I activate the Pro, getting rid of it. Just the one dual effect. Cheese play Econ takes, as we said back in the Duel Links days. He's going to go into Orient Dragon? Or maybe Brio? Yeah, Orient here. We draw another card off the Maxi, and he passes. So now, we have a lot of cards in hand. How do we win this duel from here? Well, we'll see. I think we have to wait a little bit. We have all the good stuff. Yeah, I don't even set any of the warnings or the Ryos because we have the Torrential, so if he plays into any summoning plays, we stop it here and there. Main 2. Rivalry. Right? And so he has to pick Dragon to stick to his Dragon. Very powerful versus their deck. The deck is called Tengu Plants, but, like, guys, there's only 4 plant monsters, and the rest is, like, Fiends and Dragons and other stuff. So, you know. It's really hard for him to play here. So, basically, I think from here, I just play Rivalry Control with my Miracle. Let's play it out. I activate Miracle Fusion. He lets it resolve. Over. He passes. He does Tornadoes the Hero Blast. I try to chain it, but we just banished our target. So. He goes for the Heavy Storm, and there's nothing we can do. But we still have the Veiler, so we're good to go. He goes for the Avarice on all 5, which is interesting because now he can't Debris Dragon. Apologies for the cough. That's an interesting Dust Shoot top deck, to be honest. So he's going to immediately go for Dust Shoot. Veiler. Take me off of tuning, I guess. Interesting choice, to be honest. Thunder King would have also been pretty good to take out. Because now I go for this. He still has Torrential, so I'm a little cautious of it. But I just summon the Thunder King anyway. So he Book of Moons, knowing what's coming. 1 for 1. That's an interesting top deck. He simply beats over the Thunder King. What does he do? Pass here? Yeah. Interesting. So I'm going to normal summon my Alias and get the beats on. I attack in the wrong order here, but it's fine. Doesn't really matter. Normal summons debris with no targets. And he swoops because he realized that he has no targets. But yeah, that's this is the deck, guys. It's just Hero Beat with whoops. Don't mind me. Very professional. It's just Hero Beat with Jar Turtle. Very exciting, I know, but as you can see, it's a very solid deck. We did really well versus Machina and versus the tier 1 threat known as Tengu Plan. Wasn't the best pilot, but you know, guys, it's really hard finding opponents for these videos. That's part of the reason why I'm always nervous trying to queue up, because I could take like an hour of my time doing 3 duels and not get any duels. If you want to duel me, in my link tree, you can join my Discord, and you can just message me anytime, and if I'm not working, I'll definitely be down to play. But definitely join my Discord. Join the Duelist Nexus. I'm sorry, the Tournament Nexus Discord. Basically, Photoshooty and no, Quinning, I'm sorry, Quinning hosts tournaments every other Friday. I usually enter them when I can. But yeah, shoutouts to Himne for the hero deck, and I'll definitely see you guys around.